Hey, back with another pick a card, pick a pile reading. Right now, my theme is going to be based around how May Day or Beltane happened this Wednesday. And not only did that happen this Wednesday, which is very cool, and, a big event of the year, but also what happened is Saturn has turned retrograde. And Saturn is a, slower planet, so they're retrograde for a large part of their cycle. So this isn't the kind of thing like Mercury or Venus or Mars or one of those retrogrades that really personally will affect you in some really chaotic way. But it does make a difference in the energy. So if you have Saturn retrograde in your birth chart, this is actually an easier time to get things done. Tasks get done a little bit easier. You just feel more motivated rather than weighed down. If you do not have Saturn retrograde in your chart, a lot of people do, by the way. This is really common because it's retrograde all the time. If you don't, the same thing could happen. You could have an easier time getting things done, or what can happen is you do feel more pressure. And the other thing in both cases seems to be that old stuff from the past that was difficult, we're integrating and learning about it. So I don't want to get too into that. I want to get into the reading, but that's the idea around this. So integrating things, learning old lessons, and finishing tasks and being really productive. So we have 3 piles. We'll see how this shakes out for each pile. So pick one. Number 1, we have this, it's hard to see for a second. We have this really cool quartz pendulum that I have. That's for number 1. Then for pile number 2, we have my scorpion friend, Lucifer. That's pile number 2. Then for pile number 3, we have the fluorite octahedron. So pick one of those, and we will get started. Okay, pile number 1, quartz pendulum pile. What's your Beltane message, and your Saturn in retrograde message? This is a little bit mixed up. The first thing I want to address is this one, the Glen Connor. Now, the Glen Connor has to do with glamours. Something looking like it's better than it is. Things that are too good to be true probably are. And it has to do with being blinded by lust, like, lusting after any kind of thing or person or whatever. It looks really nice, but you need to get all the facts first. I'm going to look up some details on that in a moment, but that was the main thing I noticed just now. Interestingly enough, the fact that jumped out at me first is funny, considering that we have these cards right next to each other. Look at that. 2 spiders! And these webs. That's pretty crazy. And if you look, the spiders are going the same direction, which is funny because this card is reversed and this one isn't, but they look really similar. So that message, I think, that's a pertinent message. The one of them, the black and white one, is the 8 of Pentacles. So we're talking about Saturn. That has to do with working hard, honing your craft. That makes a lot of sense. I believe that the spider card in the other deck is quite creative, but I want to look up the details on that, especially the unbalanced version of that. The other cards you have here are reversed, but I think that that's actually good in your case. We have the 10 of Swords reversed. And this has to do with an ending, sometimes being stabbed in the back. It can be like a really intense, really difficult card, but it's upside down. So I feel like that means, number 1, there was a big ending that happened, and there's nowhere to go but up. But this ending was like really necessary. It wasn't like a horrible ending. It was really important and needed to happen. We have the 5 of Spears, which is the 5 of Wands. That's upside down as well. That's a card of conflict, but it's upside down, and so I feel like there's some end to conflict here. So there's an end to conflict, there's a lot of work being done, and there's some situation that looks too good to be true. So it's like a weird mix of things. I'm going to look up the Glen Connor, the first card I was talking about, and see what else there is to see with that guy. So, illusion, delusion, lust, projection, and then clear sight. So this is about seeing clearly. You don't want to see illusions instead of what's really happening. Pause and take our time before making actual commitments. And it looks like you're already working really hard. So I feel like you have a lot of commitments already, so you don't want to add more to your plate just yet, probably, unless you really know it's a good idea. You have to test everything. You have to make sure the situation is what you think it is. Just research, test things. It's like, it mentions like testing a really nice secondhand car that looks really good, but getting a mechanic to look at it, that kind of an idea. If you're going to make a commitment to other people, you need to make sure you actually get to know them better first. See the truth behind a beglamored surface. So, but it's we who have cast the glamour. So, the thing itself isn't trying to make itself like an illusion, but because it's rose-colored glasses. This is like a rose-colored glasses card. So you want to get down to business and you want to see things as they really are. I'm going to look up the spider reversed. Spider is an earth sign, so that goes along with those pentacles. Lots of earthy work. Let's see. Creator of prosperity through life's work. Okay. Yeah, you're working hard and you're trying to build up your resources. Spider is an ingenious creator. Financially and spiritually abundant. Hard work, but the spider never tires nor becomes impatient. Process-oriented rather than results-oriented. See, that goes along with this, Glenn Connor glamour thing, is, you have to put the work in. It's like you're looking at this beautiful result, but you have to put the work in first. This really goes well with the Saturn retrograde stuff. Honestly, it does. And soon your work becomes like a weaving of a magical priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. So you do just really have to put in the work right now. You can't jump ahead to the end. And when out of balance, it's discouraged, tired, forlorn. Okay, that's not that bad, honestly. Like, this just means you're overworked. And to bring into balance is playful creativity. I almost like melded those two words together. So, yes, you are coming out of conflict. You are coming into a new situation. Something else ended that may have been really difficult, but you just can't rush forward yet. Again, very Saturn. You can't rush forward into this yet. You have to put the work in. But you're doing it. I mean, you're putting the work in. It's just you're feeling really kind of discouraged about it, and Saturn can do that to you. It can make you feel really heavy and bogged down. So yeah, just keep going. You just got to get all the pieces of the puzzle done, and you have to test everything and make sure that it is really what you want. And it might be, but there's just more work to do. So there you go, pile one. You're doing the work, and there's more work ahead. Just keep at it. So that's pile one. Like, share, subscribe. Check out my Instagram for more readings. Check out my Facebook. Donate to my PayPal. All that stuff's in the description box. And email me for readings. Okay. Pile number 2. Scorpion pile. Let's see what your Beltane Saturn retrograde messages are here. Ooh. Okay. Someone's feeling left out in the cold. And I don't know if it's you yet. There is reason to believe here that there is more than one person involved in this situation. Could be a relationship. Could be a business partnership. Could be a creative partnership. Faf the footer. Grounding. Upright, though. So I feel like Faf is in a better place when it's an upright card. You still do need to get grounded. And, the grounding can mean different things. There's like some cultures that really have a really specific meaning of what grounding is. So I don't want to take away from that. I'm just saying Faf's talking about his feet, keeping your feet on the ground, and being really in your body, really connected to the earth. And you can do that by going into nature and actually being around the earth, but also you can do things like even just like massaging your feet. Like doing what Faf is doing here can really help. Massaging your feet, cold water on the feet can help pull you back into your body. Grounding stones can help. Dealing with anxiety in different ways can help. So you need to get your feet on the ground. Maybe you're the one that's feeling left out in the cold. So think about that. We have, God, where do I start? A couple major cards here. Gazelle upside down. This speaks to exactly what Faf was talking about, which being ungrounded. I think this is very anxious. I'll look it up, but I think that if the gazelle is upside down, it's like a very anxious, like hypervigilance. And so you need to calm down. I'll look that up really quickly. Gazelle. Gazelle. It's a fire card. You don't have to have fire in your chart, but I just mention when those different elements come up. Heightened awareness and ability, vulnerable, racing mind, hyper aware. It's like beauty and sophistication, but being also really hyper vigilant and nervous. Like worrying about predators. That's the idea, like the deer kind of animal that's like perking up its ears and like, ooh, is there something bad here? I think that's where you're at. You're like nervous and hyper vigilant. Get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath. A cozy home, good food helps, being relaxed. So this goes along with Faf. You gotta chill out. And we're gonna get to why you need to chill out in a second, because I have that here. Just one thing at a time. Being real, earthing, grounding, centering, that's Faf. Yeah. Do this now. Get grounded. Important information is coming your way, but you can only receive it properly if your feet are on terra firma. Your head is well connected to the rest of your body. Pretty straightforward. The gazelle and this are showing that you are all outside your body and waving around and you need to get pulled back in. So let's talk about what's going on here. Card right in the middle here is the Lovers upside down. Relationship problems. And again, it could be a partnership that is not romantic. It could have to do with business or creativity. But also when it's upside down, there's choices involved, some choices not being made. It doesn't have to be a choice between people, but just some situation. There's either a choice that's not happening or it's a relationship that things are not going well. And it's stressing you out. Relationship stress. We have the Hermit upside down. I think this is another indication that you need to get grounded and go inward because the Hermit usually speaks to that. Just going into your inner self to find the wisdom that's there, following the light. Sometimes the Hermit upside down can mean like it's not time to do that, it's time to move forward. So I feel like especially here, you know, with this feeling left out in the cold, the beggar with the money, I feel like there's an issue with money here and maybe in not being income secure. And being really stressed out, and there's a relationship related to that. There are a lot of people in the world, especially women, who are financially dependent on their partners. And that's the way our unfortunate system that we're in works. And I feel like if that's not you, that's kind of the idea. Possibly financially dependent on someone, feeling really anxious and really nervous about it. And so, going back to the Hermit, I think it's both things. I think it's, you don't need to be isolated and stepping out of this fight. If it's a fight, you need to be involved still, but you need to go inward and get grounded. So this is all about getting grounded. And again, Saturn, and with money, I mean, that goes right along with this theme right now. So, it's May. I was also talking about Beltane and May Day, and that's all really great new stuff. Positivity, springtime. So I think you gotta listen to Faf, and you gotta get your feet on the ground, and you gotta get grounded. Breathe. If you have tools to help anxiety, that helps. Breathing. I've always said this. Hold ice cubes. Put cold water on your face. You know, different types of stones like hematite can help. Fluorite can help. Quartz, amethyst, if you use stones. But yeah, you just need to get grounded. You need to get grounded. And that will help you. Like Faf says, there is information coming to you, but you have to get your feet on the ground and get your soul into your body before you get there. So there you go, pile 2. I honestly think things are going to work out for you. I think that once you get grounded, things will just kind of, the dominoes will start falling. So, there you go. Like, share, subscribe, check out my Facebook and my Instagram, donate to my PayPal. All that stuff's in the description box. Email me if you want a reading. Okay, moving on to pile number 3. We have the fluorite. This fluorite octahedron. So let's see what your messages are moving forward with this Saturn retrograde and after Beltane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. A lot of reversals. I feel like you're one of these people that Saturn might be putting the pressure on for you right now. So that's the thing. The one card we have that's very nice here is the Piper, number 24. And I think that this actually is pretty, like, it does have to do with music. I don't know if you're a musician, if you're a creator of some kind, but I'm going to look more into that. But yeah, there's something going on there. I think we have the lizard upside down. I think the lizard's also very artistic and creative. You might be a creative person in some way. The reversal, I think that the lizard, this is another situation of grounding. Like, the lizard is calm and waits, and if it's upside down, there might be some agitation happening. You have some swords here. You have the Mother of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords, upside down. So, we have a page here, and we have a queen. So, I don't know if this has to do with people or with the situation. See what resonates. Queen of Swords is like Libra, so this would be like distorted Libra, someone who is very sharp-tongued, who is very intense with their communication, someone who cuts people out of their lives. Which isn't necessarily, none of those qualities are necessarily bad, but in this case, it's like, either this is you and you're not feeling on your game, or you're dealing with some really difficult person who is kind of cold and kind of cutting. We have the Page of Wands upside down here. Page of Wands is like a more immature energy. It's very creative. This is another creative thing. Moving forward with a new creative endeavor. It's upside down. So maybe that's the issue here, that you are a creative person, but you're not moving forward with the creative thing that you want to do. And either you are feeling off your game, or you're dealing with a difficult person. Just the distorted Libra, the manipulative Libra, the Libra that omits information for their own gain. We have the Ace of Swords upside down as well. So, Ace of Swords can just mean an end to conflict. Sometimes I have a deck that's like that, but with this, usually it's like not communication, which goes along with this. Communication somehow isn't happening. It's not clear. There's not clear communication. There's not clarity. And maybe that's the thing that's making you agitated. So I'm going to look up some details on some of these cards. I think I'm going to look up the lizard first. Fire sign. You don't have to be a fire sign, but I just let people know that that's kind of the energy associated with the cards. Instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, dreamer. Lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, and overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights in big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. Yeah, so this is an artistic reading, I think. Because in balance, you're going to be artistic and spiritual and kind of like getting all this information that you're channeling into art. But when out of balance, there's like non-committal, elusive, there's flakiness. But to bring into balance, it says a creative project, which we have the Piper here, and we have the Page of Wands, and all that speaks to creativity. There's some creative project that somehow is not getting off the ground. Someone is being difficult or non-communicative, and there is not clarity in this situation. There's not communication happening. Let me look up the Piper. Music, order, harmony, seduction, empathy. He asks that we listen to the world around us, especially to the unspoken words of others, humans, fairies, plants, and trees. The unspoken words. So this might have to do with reading between the lines because you're not getting the clear communication that you want. Oh my god, and it says the first thing to get what you want. The Piper recommends that you try polite requests and gentle, patient persuasion. Yeah, it sounds like there's communication issues here. Then wait, quietly welcoming for it to come to you. Seek harmony and tranquility in yourself and the world around you. Use tenderness and gentleness. This card speaks of a time of harmony, creativity, and increasing order. It tells of communication without words, the music of empathy and the awareness of the feelings and concerns of others. Communication without words. Maybe that's this. Communication without words. Interesting. Reading between the lines, I think. The music of empathy and the awareness of the feelings and concerns of others. It is a time to pay attention to the subtlety of others' expressions of feelings and ideas. Look past the surface and listen as you would to a beguiling melody on the very edge of hearing. He also plays melodies in our dreams, which may be filled with meaning and importance, and then he leaves it up to us to understand what they mean. Yeah, especially with the lizard card here, definitely pay attention to your dreams right now. And if you've had a dream recently, maybe if you remember any of it, go back and see what you can see in there. Usually with dreams, how you feel in the dream is one of the most important things, so see if you can get back into that feeling. And then, I make notes on my phone. It's easier than just having a notebook to grab, at least for me, when I'm dreaming. So if you wake up and you can kind of think of anything from your dreams, just make some notes, because there's messages in there. This may also be a good time to be aware that others may be listening to us with sensitivity and clarity, so much so that they may hear what we are truly saying more clearly than we do ourselves. That's really interesting, that other people can understand us better than we do. I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. This card may also signify musical talent or ability, or it may be suggesting that the use of music is in some way important at the present time. So yeah, something musical, something creative, also having to do with communication. So if you're not getting the communication from this person that you need, try to read between the lines. Try to look at the subtlety happening and gain what you need from that. People can communicate in ways other than with words, so just be vigilant. And again, the lizard, if it was upright, the lizard waits. It's very creative, but it waits. And also, it's, do whatever kind of artistic, creative stuff you can do on your own, and that might help the connection, the communication with this person. Maybe if you're a musician, communicate with music. Communicate with music. If this person is not communicating with you directly, communicate with music. You're not creating yet because you're waiting for some sort of thing to happen or communication. You just gotta get started. So, that's kind of interesting. That's nice. Again, Saturn Retrograde can kind of get on you to get things done. And so if that has to do with making music or a creative project or something, this is a message to just get going on it, or keep going if you're feeling stalled. So yeah, there you go, pile 3. That's your reading. I hope it resonated. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. I have a PayPal you can donate to in the description box. I have a Facebook and an Instagram. And then definitely email me if you want a private reading. So thanks. See you next time.